Hey Disney cruisers, and welcome back to the DCL community where we are here to help you plan, prepare for, and get excited for your Disney cruises. You guys know me, I'm Rebecca. I am your host and admin of the DCL community. And today we are so excited to be doing a deep dive on a lot of really frequently asked about topics. We're going to be talking about Eastern Caribbean. We're going to be talking about the Disney Fantasy, adult-only Disney cruises, as well as Concierge. So as you guys are coming in, let us know what you're most interested in, and we'll try and keep up and let you guys know as much as we can about those topics. But as people are coming in, we'd love for you guys to say hi. And Hunter, if you want to go ahead and say hi and introduce yourself, should I click over to the next slide?
Yes. Hi guys, I'm Hunter. I am a concierge travel advisor with Jayco Travel. I've been doing this job for over 9 years now. So I am really excited to chat with you guys tonight about all of the topics that Rebecca mentioned. As you can see here on the screen, Rebecca, if you could go to the next slide.
Yeah.
So again, who am I? I've been on 26 Disney cruises across all 5 of Disney's incredible ships. Disney cruises are my absolute favorite vacation to plan. They're my favorite vacation to go on with my family. I think they're the perfect mix of Disney and relaxation and magic. Like you get the shows, ice cream, the characters, the pool, the beach if you're going to the Caribbean. Just so many great things wrapped up into one vacation.
Yes, there's no shortage of that.
Not at all. So there are several ways that you can contact me. Rebecca and I will share this PowerPoint after, which makes the links actually clickable. But you can always email me. That's the best way to reach out to me. You can read more about me, my services, and how to contact me or schedule a call with me on my website listed there. And then, of course, on social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Again, these will all be shared afterwards in this format that is clickable.
Yes. And I just dropped the link to Hunter's page on the DCL community site, so now you can reach out to her there as well. But her planning services are 100% free for you to use. So as we're going to be going through this, you guys are going to see how incredible her knowledge base and the depth of knowledge is on all of these topics. So let her be that resource in your planning to help you take all the stress out of planning your Disney cruise vacation.
Yes, just like Rebecca said, like, you guys are busy. I know I'm busy, but this is one of the great things about working with an advisor is we know that it takes so much time, research, and dedication to plan your vacation. So that's what we do for you. We take that stress off of you and the decision fatigue, and we put it all in one happy package for you. So as a travel advisor, my specialties are family travel, romance travel, allergy travel, accessible travel, and then on Disney Cruise Line, Concierge Staterooms, as I have sailed Concierge on all the ships. I am a mom to a boy and girl that have been cruising all of their lives. So I have experience from babies to tweens right now. And then we've also sailed with multi-generational families. So wide range of family travel experience there. I also have a specialized experience with allergies. My husband has celiac disease, so he cannot have gluten, and my son has a nut allergy. And then my husband is an amputee, so we have experience with accessible staterooms as well. And then beyond that, my husband and I are doing our 10-year vow renewal on the Treasure next year. And that kind of catalyzed my expertise and really my niche in Disney Cruise Line weddings. So I work with a lot of Disney Cruise Line brides now.
Yes. Oh, and especially for those adult-only trips too. If you guys are thinking about weddings, about vow renewals, about anything like that, reach out to Hunter and let her be that resource for you. Oops, I clicked ahead. There we go. Okay, so working with you, how can people get started?
Yeah, so working with me is super simple. First step is on you. You're going to brainstorm the trip you want to take. Second is when you contact me. The third is when you collaborate with me to really let me know what you're wanting in your vacation so that I can then take all of that information and put it in step 4, the research and sending you the proposal. From there, once you do the proposals, we will tweak and revise as needed. And then step 6 is book and start your planning process. And during the planning process, we send you so many tips, tricks, and all the informational emails, milestone reminders, and all of the information that you could possibly need, as well as access to our client group to answer any of your questions that may arise during your planning process.
Yes, everything from start to finish. Hunter and her team will be there to help you with whatever you might need to plan that perfect Disney cruise. And I know you just came off of a sailing, right? You're fresh off the boat. It's a ship, but fresh off the Fantasy, right?
Yes, we just got home on Saturday from a 7-night Fantasy sailing to the Eastern Caribbean. So that's kind of what this video is like a review of that trip. So we're going to start from the beginning here as ground transfers. We get so many questions about ground transfers in the group, and there's so many different ways for you to get to your cruise. I guess the most obvious would be driving and parking at the port. Another very popular is Disney Cruise Line transportation from either the airport or a hotel, and then private transfers, Uber and Lyft. So we typically do private transfers or Uber and Lyft. If we have a big party, then we'll do private transfers, or if we need car seats, we'll do private transfers. But if it's just my family of 4, we typically do Uber and Lyft because it's the most economical. This trip, we had 6 adults going from Wilderness Lodge at Walt Disney World to the port, and then from the port back to the airport. It was $492 round trip, including taxes, fees, and gratuities with Away We Go. They always have like the van style like picture that you see here. And it's a really great option. And I did the math, and if we would have done transfers with Disney Cruise Line, it was $540 plus gratuity. So the private transfers in this case were actually more economical than doing the Disney Cruise Line transportation.
Awesome. And is this something that you can help your clients coordinate, or do they have to do that on their own?
No, this is when we put a package together, we will include transportation for you, whether you want to put in Disney Cruise Line transportation or a private transportation.
And what are some reasons somebody might want to consider the not private transportation, but the Disney Cruise Line transportation instead?
So Disney Cruise Line transportation is probably the best option if you have a wheelchair or scooter. It's also a good option for first-time cruisers. The reason I say that is because when you are on a Disney Cruise Line transfer, you are assigned a port arrival time based on the Disney Cruise Line bus. So the bus arriving supersedes your port arrival time. So whenever you get there is obviously when you get there, but then the boarding number can sometimes get you an earlier boarding number, whereas if you are doing private transfers or driving in yourself, the app knows that when you go to do check-in, and you'll have to pick your port arrival time based on your Castaway status. So if you're the last ones picking as a first-time cruiser, you may get a later time. Whereas if you're riding the bus, you could get there by noon, and there's typically no line to get on the ship, and they're through the boarding numbers by 12:30, opposed to when you checked in online and got a 2:30 arrival time. So using the Disney Cruise Line transportation could buy you a couple extra hours on embarkation day.
Yeah, that's such a great point. And things like these, when you're putting together your plans as far as how you're going to get there, where exactly you're staying, all of these are pieces of the puzzle that Hunter can help talk through with you to figure out exactly what the best way is for your family to get to the port.
Yes. All right. So let's talk a little bit about the Disney Fantasy. The Disney Fantasy is one of Rebecca's favorite ships, most traveled ships, right?
She's up there. I love the Fantasy. I'm so excited about this, guys. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited.
So the Fantasy started her maiden voyage in March of 2012. And since then, her home port has been Port Canaveral. She's been sailing the Eastern and Western Caribbean itineraries, the 7-night sailings, for most of her career so far. That kind of gets shaken up this fall. But right now she's doing 7-night Eastern and Western Caribbean itineraries. And a handful of times she's done some Southern Caribbean itineraries. And then during COVID, she actually did 3 and 4-night itineraries right after sailing came back. I was on a 4-night on the Fantasy, September 2021. But for the most part, right now, you'll see till about fall 2024, the 7-night Eastern and Western Caribbean. This ship holds 4,000 passengers and then another about 1,400 crew. There's 14 decks, and the most recent dry dock and refurbishment was 2017. But it sounds like she will go into dry dock in 2025.
Yeah, which I'm excited for.
We get a lot of questions about the shows on board the different ships, so I wanted to throw that in here. Right now, the shows on board are Disney's Believe, Disney's Aladdin, and then Frozen. So these are the 3 Broadway-style shows. And then also on board this week was a comedian, a ventriloquist, and then this like comedy band.
Oh, very fun.
So those were all also in the Walt Disney Theater.
And I think that's something people forget about is there's so many other variety acts on board. It's not just the shows. And I know a lot of people think that they like have to sail on the Wish in order to get any sort of Frozen experience, but Frozen is also on the Fantasy and the show is so well done. Although Disney's Believe is up there for one of my favorites. It's just such a good show. Such a good show. Ooh, Concierge.
All right. So on this sailing, my husband and I did sail in a Concierge stateroom. One thing about Concierge that is fantastic is the fact that you get to pick your port excursions, your onboard activities 130 days in advance. So that's before anybody else. So this is a really great perk for a first-time cruiser who doesn't have any Castaway Club status with Disney Cruise Line, that you don't have to wait until the 75 days before to pick your activities. But there's other perks too, and a lot of those come when you get on board. So many like luxury amenities, and it makes cruising Concierge like an experience you'll never get. It's an absolute game changer. You like never want to go back to a regular stateroom. So some of these incredible amenities are, like I said, the early booking advantage, priority book boarding. So that port arrival and boarding time that we just talked about goes out the window because you're going to be the first to board. Once you get on board, you have a private lunch with the concierge host to get to know them. They get to know you, what your preferences are, if you have any specific needs, and they go over your itinerary with you. So if there's anything you want to add or remove, all of that is walked through with you. And then there is a private lounge and sun deck on the ships for Concierge. The lounge is stocked with beverages all day. There's water, soda, juices. And then they have a coffee machine that's excellent with syrups and different things in there to add to your coffee, so you don't have to go to Coke Cafe. And then they have like small plates on rotation every few hours for you to have some snacks in the lounge as well. And then from 5 to 10 p.m., there is an open bar in the lounge also. And beyond these amenities, you also get a little bit extra internet. There's some higher end stateroom amenities, such as the like hair products. You get like a loofah in there. The chocolates are a little bit different. There's robes and slippers. And one thing I really love about being concierge is if you need anything, all you have to do is go talk to the host. There's no going down to guest services, no waiting in a line. Like you just speak to them and then they will get back to you with whatever it was that your request was. For instance, I wanted to book a last minute spa reservation, and they just called up there and got my appointment booked for me. They actually did that twice. I did a pedicure and a hair treatment, and they got me last minute time slots.
I love
And
it.
yes, and I do want to mention for those worried about Castaway that Sailing Concierge is almost exclusively the only way to get a Castaway Cabana. There is a slight chance you could get it if you're not concierge, but it is very slim. So if a Castaway Cabana is important to you, Sailing Concierge is the way to go. Beyond just the extra, perks that you get, having that like dedicated space is fantastic. But what really makes the experience for me is the concierge host. They get to know you. When they walk in the lounge, they call you by name. They know your preferences. Like you walk in at 5 p.m. for the open bar, and they're like, Miss Keeling, would you like your champagne? Like they just make it really special, and connecting with them is one of my favorite things about sailing for all of the crew members. Really, I love the conversations and connections with crew. It's the reason we keep coming back to Disney time and time again, because of their service and attention to detail and just the way they interact with everybody.
Yeah. And something I wanted to note, Hunter also is concierge on the Magic right after she went through dry dock just a couple of months ago. So if you guys are trying to figure out exactly what ship concierge might work for you, talk it through with Hunter. She can price out the different options and let you know how the amenities on board and the services kind of compare and contrast.
Yes, I have sailed concierge on all 5 ships, so I've got you covered.
Amazing. Love that. Oh, the
Right,
stateroom.
so I hope this loads. It was a video of our.
Oh.
So this is a video of our stateroom. So this is the family ocean view veranda and concierge. So you've got the closets on the right. You've got the split, or on the left, you got the split bathroom here. So the first stall is going to be your sink and toilet. The second one is your sink and tub. The one reason we really like the tubs, besides when we had little kids, is my husband is an amputee, and having that ledge for him to sit on allows us to forego needing an accessible stateroom or a shower chair. Then the rest of the stateroom is pretty much set up like all the others, but one thing that is different is the concierge staterooms on the Fantasy do have that flat screen TV in the front and the smaller TV by the rest of the room, as you can see in that like still shot here. The regular staterooms only have that small TV.
Good call out. And then you mentioned the stacked fridge. So that's right in there, right in the stateroom.
So right below the TV, right there is a stocked mini fridge, water, soda. You can get juices, and then like during happy hour, I would grab a couple extra like Trulies and stuff and just stick them in there.
Good to know. That's a question we see a lot too, is do they have other options besides just beer, wine, and cocktails? Good to know they have Trulies on board as well.
Yes.
Oh, I love it. Oh, Eastern Caribbean. Is there anything like it? Oh.
No, there's surely not. So we did an Eastern Caribbean itinerary, stopping at Tortola, St. Thomas, and Castaway. I'm not going to go into a ton of detail because that could be in a whole video in itself, basically about each island. But I'll give you kind of an overview and what's popular and like what we did. So on Tortola, the most popular excursion, and you will see it sold out on Disney Cruise Line, is a day trip to the baths. The baths are not on Tortola. They are on Virgin Gorda. So it's a different island that you have to get to from Tortola. My group did a private excursion, or not a private excursion. I'm sorry. We went on our own to the baths. So we got off the ship as soon as we could. We walked to the ferry, took the ferry over to Virgin Gorda, got in an open air truck, took it to the baths, did the baths on our own, went to a restaurant at the top of the baths, and then we're like, hey, what should we do next? And the guy called us another like open air truck, and we toured the island and stopped at some hidden gem beaches and lookout spots that were incredible. And it definitely made me want to go spend like an entire vacation on Virgin Gorda. It was gorgeous. And we took the last ferry back to Tortola, walked back over the ship and got on. I think we were back on the ship like an hour and a half before the all aboard time. So one thing that I get a lot of questions about is, do we need to book our excursions with Disney Cruise Line? And there's a couple different answers to this. Do you need to? No. Can you book them privately? Absolutely. And I am more than happy to walk my clients through that process and give them, the little tips and tricks and hidden gem locations that we learn going on these trips ourselves. But I will say that there is a bit of a safety net on booking excursions with Disney Cruise Line. If you book an excursion with Disney Cruise Line and for whatever reason it's delayed, Disney is either going to wait on you or they're going to get you to them at the next port. So you kind of have that safety net to fall back into. So that's one thing to take into consideration, depending on how well traveled you are, or if you're like an anxious traveler, things like that. Mm-hmm. Sorry,
No, you are fine.
So the dogs are going crazy.
No, that's all right. I was going to say, this is one of the huge perks of working with a travel agent, is having somebody to talk through. Like Hunter was saying, this is the most popular excursion at this port of call. So when you see that it's sold out, knowing how to navigate it on your own, because Hunter can take you step by step through exactly what you need to do. She's got the restaurant recommendations and other options that you can take advantage of for families, for adults, you name it, to customize your vacation. Because as much as we love Disney, maybe what they're offering just doesn't suit your needs. And she can help tailor that exactly to what your family and your party want to do at all these ports of call.
Yes. All right, so our next port of call was St. Thomas. St. Thomas, this was not my first visit to St. Thomas. It is gorgeous. It's also breathtaking.
Yes.
Right when you get off the ship in St. Thomas, there are taxis at your disposal. And all of the St. Thomas taxis are regulated. So you're not going to get ripped off. If they're going to be, whatever the price says on the sign is what the price is going to be. And on the sign, when you get off the ship, there's different locations that you can take a taxi to. So if you're not doing a excursion with Disney Cruise Line, that's what I recommend doing. But another popular option in St. Thomas is to, again, take a ferry to a different island to St. John and visit Trunk Bay. It's a hidden gem. It's gorgeous. But again, if you're going to do that, you have to know the proper steps to take. So that is, again, something I work on with my clients to make sure they feel comfortable and have those steps in place, have it on their phone, have it in their email, so they know what they're doing when they get there. When we personally on St. Thomas, we took a taxi to Coki Beach. It was about a 20-minute taxi ride, and it was $14 per person each way, so $28 round trip. We spent, I think, 5 hours there.
Wow, yeah.
We rented chairs and an umbrella. The chairs were $5 each, and the umbrella was $10. You could also rent rafts. There's little shops that you could buy stuff from, and then there were several different restaurants and bars on the beach. So that's what we did. We spent our day lunching on the beach, at the bar, having good food, playing in the water. It was great. And then when we arrived, they asked us what time we wanted to taxi back. So we told them, and the same driver came and picked us up and took us back to the ship.
Wow, amazing.
We did some shopping in the port and got back on. So none of the things that we did on either island was arranged by Disney.
That's awesome. And I know we're going to get the question of, do I need different currency? Can I use US dollars? What did you guys do? Do I need my credit card?
You can use US dollars for sure. And most places do accept credit card. So my little pro tip for anybody when they're traveling is, if a place takes credit card, use your credit card, because you never know when you're going to need cash. Like you just
Good
never know.
point. Good point. Oh, so that's the type of pro tip that you get when you work with an experienced travel advisor, and especially someone who's been there. And, Hunter was saying she's been to these islands multiple times. She has so much experience at all of them, and probably the most of all, Castaway, right?
Yes. I love Castaway. Castaway has a deep spot in my heart. So Castaway is Disney's private island in the Bahamas. It's the crystal clear water you see in that photo is the crystal clear water that's there. Like that's what you get.
Yes, you took the words right out of my mouth. I was like, it is that blue.
Yeah, it really is. And there's so much to do. So much to do. You've got 2 family beaches. You've got an adult beach. You've got an overwater jungle gym. You've got the water slides. There's a teen hangout. There's a kids club. There's bike riding. There's snorkeling. There's excursions. There's floats and tube rentals. You guys, you can easily spend a day on this island without doing an excursion.
Yes. Or even making a dent in the island. I feel like so many people,
Correct.
they don't even get to explore the whole thing because there's so much to do.
Yeah,
I mean, even like character dance parties in the middle of the day, you don't get that anywhere else. So,
right.
Oh,
There's a 5K.
Yeah.
I've been to Castaway over 15 times. I don't know how many cruises I've been on that haven't gone to Castaway, but probably close to 20 times. And I've never biked around the island. I've never seen the backside of the island.
Oh, you've got to do it. It's when you get, Hunter. Okay. Well, we all know Hunter's homework. When she gets home, she has to book another Disney cruise so she can go to Castaway. Oh,
my son and I are going in April. So,
yes. Okay. You have to. I love it.
Yes. So, maybe we'll do that. But I'm such a beach girl. I love to just get off the ship, get to the tram, take it to the beach, and plant myself there all day. Speaking of that, there is a tram to the beach. You can walk or take the tram. The tram is handicap accessible, so you can take a scooter onto the tram. And there are 3 tram stops. So the first one's going to be at the first family beach. The second one is at the second family beach. And then if you want to go to the adult family beach, you have to switch trams. But there is a tram that goes over there. And then people always say, is it crowded? Are there enough chairs? No, it's not crowded. Yes, there are enough chairs. Plenty of chairs, umbrellas to go around. I would say the only 2 things that are in short supply are cabanas and hammocks.
Yes.
I actually had a client I had a client today that we did a phone call just to give her like feedback. And she said that when they got off the ship, she asked a crew member, like, what's your favorite spot on the island? And he said to like, go get a hammock because there's only 400 hammocks. But still 400 hammocks is a lot.
That is a lot. And I don't feel like it's that many hammocks that are out there.
I didn't fact check him. So
yeah,
but that is what she told me on the call today.
I will say there's nothing like laying in a hammock with a frozen drink in your book and just letting the day take you. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
And another thing I want to just highlight is the tubes and floats do cost to rent there, but we brought cheap floats, like ring floats from Walmart. And you can buy a tiny little air pump on Amazon that's seriously like the size of a jewelry box and blow up your own rings so then you're not renting them and they can deflate them and take them home and bring them back again. So, if you didn't want to pay I think it's $13 for the day for a float rental.
Something in there.
But that's just another little tidbit.
Yeah. And I know we're going to get the question of, do I do Eastern? Do I do Western? But that's something that you can talk through with your clients as well, right? About what are you looking for and which itinerary is going to make the most sense for you and your family.
Yes, that's definitely something that we kind of got to talk through because I have different reasons for liking and disliking them both, even though it's hard to dislike them.
Yes.
But it's just pros and cons based on your family's needs and experiences and wishes.
Yes. Yeah. There's no wrong way to Disney cruise. Oh my gosh. And cruising with your friends is definitely not a wrong way to do it.
No. So this is our
adults.
Yeah, this is our second adult Disney cruise. We did one last February on the Wish, and then this one last week on the Fantasy. And it's such a fun time, a totally different experience than going with your children. But there's so much to do for adults. Of course, the Cove bar and pool area. So that's the adult pool on the ship. And then there's an awesome hot tub that's up against the windows on the Fantasy on the adult deck that we love. And then there's a second adult deck that has satellite falls, which is kind of just like a waiting splash pool, lots of chairs and beautiful forward ship views. And so we spent a lot of time in the pool with our books on loungers when we weren't at port. But some other fun things that we did activity-wise that I feel like adults would enjoy is trivia. Some was family-friendly, like kids were there, and some was, exclusively 18 and older trivia. My friend Kelsey did a animation drawing class because she's very creative like that. So she went to the D Lounge and drew Sadness with the animators. So she enjoyed that. And in the evening, there's plenty of adult-only activities to do, from more trivias to game shows to karaoke, silent DJ party, the variety acts, the same variety acts that they have in the Walt Disney Theater. They bring them into the adult-only spaces, like on the Fantasy was the Tube, on different nights and make it an adult-only show. So that's super fun. I'm going to put a shameless plug in there for my favorite adult-only game show, which is Match Your Mate. It's a couples game show. It's my favorite. My husband really enjoys the silent DJ party. I know, Rebecca, you do too.
Yeah, so fun. Well, there's so much to do. People always think that, Disney's just for kids, Disney's just for families, but adult heavy, great time on board Disney cruises. And you can go hours upon hours without even seeing a kid walking around because of these adult only spaces.
Yeah. Another really popular adult only space is a rainforest room in the spa. It is an additional cost, but in there you have heated loungers, you've got sauna, steam room. On the Fantasy and Dream, they have a hot tub, and then you have these showers that have different rain pressures, temperatures. It's a really cool sensory experience. So you can buy a length of cruise rainforest pass. And then obviously spa treatments. My husband and I did a couples massage. I did a pedicure and I had a hair treatment. So those are also really great. There's different beverage tastings, mixology events that you can go to. In the bars, they'll have live music in the adult only spaces, which is always fantastic to listen to. And there just is so much to do in 7 days as even adults only that you can't go wrong. You spend your days lounging, enjoying the pool or doing trivia. And then in the evening, your night is jam-packed with the adult only activities and the Tube. And then for the times where we're well, that adult only activity isn't really for us, we had purchased a deck of cards in the shops and we sat in one of the bars and we played cards.
Oh, I love that. Just a low-key night with friends at sea in a beautiful bar with great drinks. I mean, oh my gosh, you're selling me on going on a cruise with my friends on the Fantasy. I just feel like I need that after this.
You definitely do. And I wanted to tell you that I said hi to Yo-Yo for you.
Oh, the best. He's the best.
He is the best.
Oh my gosh.
Yo-Yo and Declan were entertainment hosts, and they were the best duo. I love Yo-Yo, but Yo-Yo and Declan together,
those two together,
the best duo I've ever experienced.
They're so good. Declan, we had the two of them on our last cruise. Oh my gosh, just stomach pains because they're laughing so hard. It was fantastic. I don't know if anybody else is gonna book a cruise immediately after this live, but I feel like I need to after this. This is so cool. Oh, that's right. You guys did adult only dining too. Oh my gosh, so much for adults to do on board.
So we did Palo brunch as a group. So all 7 of us went to Palo brunch on our second day. It was fantastic as always. so many options on their limited brunch menu. They were incredibly accommodating for Jared's gluten allergy. Walked out of their stuff. We were all like, we're never eating dinner tonight. Like, there's no way. We all eat dinner for dinner.
Yeah.
So that picture is taken outside of Palo, on the one side of Meridian, which is one of the adult only bars. Beautiful views up there. You could just, this area does not need reservations. So you could go up there with your friends to have a drink or book and enjoy those views. And there's hardly anyone ever out there. Like, it is a very quiet space.
Yes, agree.
Like I said, you can just go up there and go out there. So, and then my husband and I had a little date night, and Remy, this was my first Remy. I've always been frightened by how upscale it is. And we loved it. It was
right. Oh my gosh.
But it is very fancy. I don't know how, it's not like a do every cruise experience for us. Like, Palo is a do every cruise experience for us. I don't know if that Remy is, but I'm so glad that we tried it, because I know at some point we will do it again. I think in November, when we're back on the Fantasy, we're going to do Remy brunch.
Ooh, I've heard such great things about the brunch and the dessert experience too. But I agree with you. Remy, we just did it for the first time and it was amazing. But I don't know that it's an every cruise sort of deal for us. But there was this one dish that, right? I can't stop thinking about this one dish that was all about beets. I don't know if y'all had it, but I don't even like beets. And you could have buried me in this dish. It was so good. I don't know how the chefs up there do it, but they are phenomenal. Oh my gosh.
Everything was delicious. I do want to mention that there is a dress code for these restaurants, just to keep that, elevated dining experience alive. That is what my husband wore to Palo brunch. So little dressed up, but still kind of casual. And then he wore a suit for Remy dinner.
And how was Remy with the allergies as well? Still fantastic?
Still great. Yeah. There were a couple things they couldn't accommodate, but there's a couple things in Palo that they can accommodate. But they still did fantastic. We did, I don't know what you and your sister did, but we did one chose the French line of the menu, and the other one chose the American. And then we just shared.
Yes.
And they would come out and be like, okay, this on your plate, pointing to me, this he can have, this he can't. So I think only 2 things of what I had he couldn't try. The dessert and something else, but he had his own dessert.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
I wish I was having Remy for dinner and not my leftovers. My leftovers are just going to be so sad compared to Remy. Oh, amazing. Okay, let's see what's next. This is so exciting. Oh, the cabana at Castaway. Yes.
Yes. So we had a Castaway cabana at Serenity Bay. This picture is of the family beach, just so nobody's like, I've got a cabana and I didn't see the ship. Serenity Bay doesn't look at the ship. Anyways, this is the cabana on the family side. There are 27 cabanas on the island. 21 of them are on the family beach. 6 are at Serenity Bay. They are an additional cost. They are pricey, but for my family, we love them. My husband and my daughter are both very fair skinned, very light hair, and they burn very easily. They like to be at the beach, but they also want some shade. Mm-hmm. With the cabana, not only do you have the lovely cabana that's shaded with comfortable seating, but you have the hammock, you have floats and tubes, fresh fruit, chips, granola bars, all that can be replenished, water, soda, replenished, cold towels go on your neck, sunscreen, beach towels. You don't have to carry beach towels from the ship. There's a safety deposit box. You have complimentary snorkel equipment. You just have to go to the snorkel shack and show them your concierge, and they give you snorkel equipment. On the family beach, there's little sand toys in there. You get a 1-hour complimentary bike rental. And then also, if you are in concierge and you have cabana, they will take you from the ship to your cabana in a golf cart. So you don't have to worry about the tram or anything like that. And also pick you back and take you to the ship in your golf cart. You can eat lunch in your cabana. And then you have a button that you can call your attendant to if needed.
Love that.
So I can tell you for the 6 of us in a cabana at Serenity Bay with gratuity, it was $688. The base price at Serenity Bay starts with 4 guests. So 100 of that cost was because we had more than 4, or there was 7 of us, I'm sorry. So 150 of that was because we had additional guests.
Got it.
So with the gratuity, it would have been about $530 if we just had 4 people.
And I know we often get the question of how do I link reservations? I'm cruising with my in-laws, we're separate reservation numbers, but we want to be in the same cabana or we want to eat dinner all together. How do you go about doing that when you are not in the same stateroom?
So for my guests, we link you guys like the reservations together. No problem. And when you go to the app, you will see that your stateroom is linked to somebody else, and your plans and their plans will both show up on your Navigator app. And then when you choose like a cabana for a concierge, you just tell them who you want in it, and they can even go as far as splitting it down to the person. So like concierge for us, they split it. They split it in 7, and then I paid for 2 people. And they charged it directly to the applicable person's onboard account. So we didn't have to worry about paying each other or anything like that.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh.
So
Concierge is sounding nicer and nicer every time. Every word you say, I'm like, ooh.
So the family cabanas are more, and they do have seasonal pricing. Just so you know. So like the family cabanas start at $797, and that's for 6 guests, but you can have up to 10. And then the grand family cabana starts at $1127 for 10 people, but you can have up to 16 in the grand family cabana.
Awesome. And there is at least one cabana that has accessible features, right?
Yes. Cabana 1 on the family beach is accessibility friendly. In our Castaway Cay live that we did, Rebecca and I did, there is a photo and video of the Castaway cabana that is accessible.
I will grab that link for everybody and put it in the comments so that people can refer back to it, because that did such a great job at going in depth of everything you need to know to be prepared before you go to Castaway.
Yes. So as you can see, there's so many things to do as adults only on a cruise. So many things to enjoy on the Disney Fantasy, Sailing Concierge, the Eastern Caribbean. Don't shy away from Disney. If you love Disney and you love the service that Disney provides and the magic and storytelling, don't shy away and sacrifice what you love just because you're an adult. I have heard so many times, like, you're going on a Disney cruise with just adults? Yes, because I know Disney Cruise Line and I love Disney Cruise Line, and that's what I enjoy.
Exactly. Yes, there is a level of service, and just like the magic that you get from everything on board, there is nothing like it. And if you want to look at other things, Hunter can help you kind of decide, is a different cruise line or a different all-inclusive resort maybe going to fit what you need from your vacation. But man, there's just nothing like a Disney cruise. There's nothing like it. And if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out to Hunter. That's the link up on screen for her page on the DCL community site. And then the email is up there as well. We'll get this presentation in the comments for everybody so you can refer back to it. But if you have any questions, if you are excited as I am right now to plan an Eastern Caribbean cruise on the Disney Fantasy before she potentially starts sailing to some other places around the globe, who knows? Definitely reach out to Hunter and let her help you plan that perfect Disney cruise. Hunter, thank you for letting us in
Thank
to your
you.
vacation. And if you guys missed it, go over to Hunter's Instagram page. She did an awesome job throughout her cruise with sharing her experiences, what she was eating, what they were doing on board, and she's got those saved on highlights as well. So let her be that resource for you and help take all of the stress and planning off of your shoulders for that Disney cruise. But Hunter, thank you so much again, and we will see all y'all on board real soon. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.